So in this video, I'm going to give you the grand tour continuing on Hillcrest Road. We're actually going to head south, and I'm going to show you more neighborhoods. I'm going to show you more businesses. I'm going to show you things that make this area very popular. Now, my name's Jeff Jones. I've lived in Mobile my whole life. I'm with Keller Williams, and I absolutely love getting to make these videos. Now, if you will look over to the left, you're going to see the back of a neighborhood that we're going to talk about a little later. The back of a neighborhood that's in the $500,000 range. Very nice neighborhood. And if you look over to the right, you're going to see another neighborhood with the big brick fence that's going to be in that $400,000 to $500,000 range. So it's a lot to take in, but we're going to take some turns into some of these neighborhoods and show you as much as possible on how far your dollar will go in the city of Mobile, Alabama. So we're going to take a turn here, if I can get over. Pretty popular. Folks just got out of church, and this is a very popular street. So we're going to turn in here. Now, before we do, if you'll notice the canopy of oak trees over us. If you're new to my channel, you'll see that we talk about oak trees all the time because they are absolutely everywhere. Now we're going to turn into a neighborhood called Carriage Hills. Carriage Hills has been around for a long time, and they've got a lot of different houses. You know, folks are always calling me, texting me, they're asking me questions about what it's like for the moving process. And the reason they do is, well, I've lived here my whole life. So I don't have to do a lot of research when folks have questions. You know, I might be able to think, oh, I remember that neighborhood. I used to, ride my bike through there when I was in the 5th grade. I mean, I just know a lot of the area and have a lot of experience. I've showed every house for sale in this neighborhood that you can imagine. I've worked with a lot of buyers that are in that $250,000 to $350,000 price range. And there's a lot to choose from here. Carriage Hills, it's been around for a while, and it's pretty eclectic. I'll say eclectic because it has a little bit of everything. If you look over to the left, in my other videos, I talked about the different types of roofs in Mobile, and that is a 3-tab shingle on both of those houses. And then if we continue, you'll see the gray roof. Well, that is an architectural shingle. And as we turn to the left, you'll see, which is a rare sighting in Mobile, this is a metal roof. Now, where you come from, things might be a little different. But around here, that's typically what we have. 3-tab, architectural, and a metal roof every now and then. So we'll turn back around and head back to Hillcrest, where we're going to see more houses that are going to give you an idea of what it's really like to move here. And look at that house in front of us. Man, those folks, they need to get yard of the month. That is truly an impressive yard. And folks in Mobile, well, the weather, it certainly supports it, and a lot of them like to spend a lot of time in the yard. That is evidenced by going to Home Depot and Lowe's. You can go on a Sunday afternoon, and it is absolutely packed. Now, as we get back on Hillcrest, we're going to continue down south, and we're going to come up to a road called Girby. Now, Girby, well, it's got a lot of things on it. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. But again, one of my favorite topics on this channel are trees. Over to the left, you'll see crepe myrtles. They are, well, they're really everywhere. It's the kind of tree you can plant. Doesn't take too long to grow. Gives you some shade. Really attractive, nice trees. And so, but yeah, and then over to the left, you'll see almost all of these neighborhoods are in the $250,000 to $325,000 range. This says no outlet, so we'll turn into Magnolia Place, and you'll see some of these have vinyl siding, some of them are brick, but no cookie cutter. All these houses, we didn't really start seeing cookie cutter neighborhoods until about 20 years ago in Mobile. You had Adams Homes, you had D.R. Horton come in, and they build, the kind of neighborhoods where you get to choose between your floor plan. There are like 5 or 6 floor plans, and you get to pick which house you want, change the colors, but that's about it. But all these houses on Hillcrest, they're in the city, they're more established. They're all very, very different. And we just missed it. I should have pointed it out, but there's a senior center back there. So I think my mom's been there a few times, and pretty popular place for senior adults to go. And they have food there sometimes. They have different activities. So just a pretty nice place, and it's not that old, so it's relatively new. Again, more houses on the right you'll see, and then I believe this is a nursing facility. And then you're going to see a shopping center there. And then we're going to turn over here by this Circle K onto Girby Road. Now, Girby, you know, it's a short street, but it's got lots of different things on it. And that's why I wanted to take you on this tour so you could see. New construction in Mobile, Alabama, it's a rare thing. Excuse me, in the city of Mobile. Let me back up. New construction in the city, and that's what's on the left. This is an Adams development called Addison Woods. I sold a house there about 2 years ago, and so it's in the city. You have all city services. And then we're going to turn in here to show you a middle school. This is Burns Middle School. See if I can turn in here for just a second. Now, I don't talk about schools too much on this channel, but I'm going to start doing that. I'll take you in here so you can see what a school looks like in the city of Mobile. This is middle school, so this is 6th through 8th grade. And you've got a nice entrance here. So we'll just stay on the outskirts here. And as you see, it's a big campus. You look over to the right, you'll see the building. And you know, most of these schools are going to have a gym, they'll have a cafeteria, lots of playground space in the back. And yeah, it's a big school, it really is. So if you live in this area and you go to public school, well, this is where you're going to go. And if you look over to the left, you're going to see more apartments. And then over to the right, something super, super cool in Mobile called the Environmental Center. And so it's the kind of place that if you grow up in Mobile, you go to public school, you are 100% going to go on a field trip at the Environmental Center. So we can't really turn in there. I'm sure it's closed today, but that's what that is. And starting here on the right, you'll see, and then you've got the entrance way here. But yep, the Environmental Studies Center, very popular place, and every kid knows about it in the city of Mobile. And we continue on Gerby Road, and you've got properties, smaller homes on the right, and you're going to see this is like it's almost like a little retirement center. I'm going to come back to that on the left here in just a second. But these houses are going to be around $200,000. They're very small, low maintenance, and typically people live here who don't want to have a lot of upkeep, and the houses here are very, very close together. Pepper Ridge. You see a lot of cars parked out in front of the house, and that's because, well, they don't usually have a garage, or if they do, it's just a one-car garage typically. You'll see a two-car garage every now and then. But these houses are going to be around $200,000. And yeah, if you want low maintenance, this is it. So I'm going to backtrack just, I don't know, 500 feet so we can go into a neighborhood that I really wanted to make sure and feature. Now, the first video that I ever made on YouTube talks about this neighborhood, but a lot has changed in the last probably 4 years. So this is called The Preserve, and this is a rare type of neighborhood in Mobile. This is a very unique design. These houses are pretty high end. You're going to see some, you know, 450, 550, some of them, but they're super nice. There's a lot packed into a small amount of space. Let's see if this car is gonna let us pass. Two-car garages, not much of a backyard at all, but very, very nice area. There's a lot of demand for these houses, and they don't come up very often, and when they do, they usually sell pretty quickly. They're very popular with people from other parts of the country too. But this is a really nice area. Sidewalks, street lights. The HOA, as you can tell, they do a good job with keeping things clean and orderly. And it's a really nice area. But on the other side of the neighborhood, you're going to see some new construction with larger homes, larger properties. And a friend of mine just built a house over here, and we're going to see it for the first time. So we're back to the front of the neighborhood. You got this little water feature here, and then we're going into the new section. So this is called Ruby Enville, and these houses are going to be larger, more of an estate home, and you can see they've spared no expense. Everything in here is custom, and there's still several lots available, and I'm sure they're charging a pretty penny. Well, pretty nice, right? Yeah, these houses are super nice. Very custom, high-end homes, and it's pretty convenient too. It's close to Government Street, it's close to Hillcrest, and it's close to Nolwood. So if you want to live in the city in a place that's convenient, a little bit higher end, this is the place to be. So we are back on Gerby, and we'll be wrapping this up in just a few minutes. Gerby Road, again, it's kind of a cut through from Hillcrest to Nolwood. Now, if you look over to the left, you'll see this blank space, parking lot. It used to be Knollwood Hospital. Well, since then, that has been torn down, and I don't know what's going to go there, but it's a prime location for something really large, and so I'm hoping they'll get something there soon, because that would be a nice addition to this area. And we're going to turn in here on the right. This is an established neighborhood, like so many are out here. It's been around since the 70s, some of this. And we'll turn in. This is Arrington. And these houses on Medford. Talk about folks taking care of their yard. Huge properties. This is it. Check out some of these houses. Their yards are really massive, lots of oak trees, and the street is probably the widest residential road I've ever been on. You could fit 4 cars here. Some of these houses, they're going to range maybe low 2s up to the high 3s. Vista Ridge, all this out in that area. And now we're on Nolwood. We're going to head back so that we can wrap up the square that we were making and show you some houses on Nolwood, and then we'll come back to Cottage Hill. Well, Nolwood has a lot of different neighborhoods. They're going to range in prices as well. If you look to the right, of course, more apartments. And apartments range. I mean, you can get apartments for probably in the $700 a month range, all the way up to, $2,000 a month. It really just depends on what you're looking for. So Gerby over to the left. And then when I mentioned the Knollwood Hospital that was torn down and the vacant land, well, that's over to the left right now. You'll see that up here. So one day soon, I'm sure they will be putting something nice there. And but until then, we get to look at the nice green space. Now, one thing I did want to point out, I actually used to work here when I was in college. I did my interim, I guess the student work program up here on the right. It was SADS Healthcare, and it's like an assisted living place over to the right called Gordon Oaks. So if you lived there in the early 90s, I likely helped you. And then cannot miss this place, James Madison on the right. Pretty popular neighborhood. They're going to be in the low 3s to mid 4s. Wide range of houses, typically brick, 4-bedroom plus, typically 2.5 bath plus, but you can tell, nice place right off of Nolwood. And if you live here, your public school choice for middle school is going to be Burns, just like we saw. And we'll get back on Nolwood. And we're going to look over at Leesburg on the left. Those are going to be around 300. And then we'll continue. This neighborhood on the left, let's go in here real quick. This is Ramada. These are going to be less expensive. And you've got, ranch houses are everywhere in Mobile. Yep. And people talk about what kind of fences, privacy. Well, look over to the left. You'll see that privacy fence. That's an example of what's normal in Mobile. 6-foot privacy fence made out of wood. There are a lot of folks that put up fences in our area. And so you're not going to have any problem. I've got a vendor list on my website on Living in Mobile, and it's got all the folks that I've worked with around town, whether it's fences, plumbers, electricians, everything you can think of. There's a list of those folks on there. So if you need any suggestions, chances are you can find it there. And if you don't find it, just reach out to me and I'll connect you with the right folks. And now we're going to turn into another neighborhood. I remember when this neighborhood was developed. A friend of mine built a house here, and this was around 1990. I'm sure there's some houses that may be a little older, but I was in high school and I went to a church function at their house, and I thought they had one of the nicest houses I'd ever seen. We'll turn into Brierfield, and these are going to be in the 450 to 550 range. Super nice places. Lots of brick houses, some stucco houses, and we'll go down to this cul-de-sac here. Bigger yards, lots of pools. If you see a drone shot from these neighborhoods, a lot of houses that are in that 450 to 550 range, a lot of them have pools. In fact, a neighborhood like Lexington that I featured on another video, I think about 40% of the houses in that neighborhood have a swimming pool. So they're pretty popular in our area. You can get in the pool from around May to probably October. I mean, imagine that. It gets a little cold in October. I probably should have said September. Now we get back on Nolwood and we continue to head north. Over on the left, you'll see a neighborhood, smaller houses, no maintenance, Kings Mill. It's very similar to Hillcrest Crossing. I featured that in another video. Those are going to be in the 250 to 300 range, maybe a little more. And then we start to get into the terrible cell signal. I always know this is the hill. If you go down this hill on Nolwood, you can forget about it. Your cell's going to drop out, but then it picks right back up as we get to the top of this hill. And this is a creek here. And we're seeing again these canopy trees, whether it's oak trees or crepe myrtles. We have a lot of green space in Mobile. And we're approaching Cottage Hill. And we're going to go from Cottage Hill back down to Hillcrest, where we're going to wrap up the video where we began it. So giving you a square overview of what this section of West Mobile is like. It's in the city of Mobile, city services, garbage pickup, you know, city water, city sewer, all those things, very important. Those are the questions I get asked. And in this video, every house in this area is going to have that. So we'll make a left back on the Cottage Hill. And then I want to show you a neighborhood that is very popular as of late. I've showed a lot of houses here. And we'll turn into the left here. Wait on this traffic. It's called Huffman Estates. We'll take a quick turn into Huffman Estates. You see this house on the right, looks like it's fairly updated, brand new roof. And you'll see, again, these are going to be in the 300 range. The house straight ahead, that house looks almost brand new. Man, that is super nice. New windows, the brick looks new. This house right in front of me, it looks new as well. And then you've got some older established houses. A lot of Creole cottages, but it's right across the street from Hickory Ridge, Wood Hillcrest, and a private school that we're going to come up to here in just a second called Mobile Christian. And it's very popular. A lot of students go there. And it's one of those schools where if you went there, you know, if you had a great experience, chances are your kids will go there and their kids. Look over to the left, you'll see a big fence, a lot of security, but it's really, really popular in this area. And as we continue on the right, you'll see this is the back of Hickory Ridge. This neighborhood is called Wood Hillcrest, very popular in Mobile, and those are in the 275 to 350 range. And once again, another church. You got St. Paul's Lutheran Church on the right. And more neighborhoods on the left. Now, I've talked about this place in the past. This is a little shopping center here. Pink Post Office Boutique. My wife loves that place. I'm sure they're closed on Sunday, but they have a lot. They have a lot to offer. I'm going to wrap up. Well, actually, I'm not going to wrap up yet. I got one more neighborhood to show you that I think you'll love. This is right off of Cottage Hill. The neighborhood here is called Lloyd's. Well, the street is called Lloyd's Lane, and the neighborhood is called Mirwoods. Okay, so if you're looking at houses that are, you know, in that 500 range, well, this is it. And but lots of stucco here. Now, one thing about stucco, you may have a difficult time getting it covered with the termite company. But there are some companies that do it with no problem because there are lots of stucco houses here. So let's go down here and you'll see, you know, it's funny. Making this video, I'm noticing, I knew there were a lot of crepe myrtles in Mobile, but man, they're everywhere. I guess we'll call that the tree of Mobile. But here you go, some of these houses built in the 90s. Nice homes, 2-car garages, pools, probably some 3-car garages in this area. And but right off of Lloyd's Lane in Mirwoods, out in West Mobile, and we'll get back on Lloyd's Lane. And if you notice across the street, this is going to be again one of those neighborhoods with low maintenance yards, small footprint. It's called Ashberry Place, and they're going to be less expensive to reflect that. In the low 200s, mid 200s, lots of stucco. Almost every house here, 3-tab shingles. I'm sorry, architectural shingle. Can't get that confused. Yep. A lot of retirees live in this area as well. All right, as we get back on Cottage Hill Road, we're about to wrap up, but I wanted to show you there's some different shopping areas. There's a Walmart neighborhood market up here on the right, and then you've got more shopping on the left, some of those, you know, just boutiques and different, you know, insurance places and whatnot. But in this neighborhood on the right, in this shopping center, the neighborhood market, Walmart, I talked about the new coffee shop called Brew Y'all. And so I'm going to give a little bit closer look at that as we wrap up. That's the great part about Mobile. you know, I think Mobile is a great place where you can be an entrepreneur and start something and start a business, and that's what several people have done. My friend Jeff Roberts with Yellowhammer Coffee has started an empire. It's been amazing. So we wish the best for Brew Y'all over here on the left. And I'm going to turn in here, get a closer look, and see what they've got going on. But I wanted to thank you, first of all, for watching the video. You know, if you've got questions, you're not quite sure about the whole moving process, just let me know. I'll be happy to help. Anything I can do, you just reach out. You know, if there's a little more deeper dive you want to take, well, click the link below. I've got a relocation guide that's absolutely free. You can check that out. And if you want to dig a little deeper than that, you can go and check out my podcast called Living in Mobile. Got several episodes where I talk about people who have a story to tell about living in Mobile. But hey, call the number on the screen, you know, shoot me a message. Anything I can do to help, I'll be happy to help. But don't forget to check out Living in Mobile. I've got lots of resources on there, livinginmobile.com. And check out the rest of my YouTube channel. I've got dozens of videos all about the area. As you can tell, I love getting to do this, and I'd love to help you any way I can. Can't wait for the next video.